I thought I'd bring you guys along with me. I'm fixing to make a pecan pie, and I don't know how many people that watch me make pecan pies, but if you're like me, pecan pie sounds like it can be intimidating. I've never made a pecan pie until this year and found that it is very easy, and I'll probably be making them all the time now that I know how to do it. So I thought I'd bring you guys along. It's a very simple recipe, very easy to follow. Yeah, so anyway, first I'll show you what you need. You need pecans, chopped pecans. I use the Great Value. And you need cinnamon, just ground cinnamon. I use the, I think this is the Great Value brand. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's one of the brands that they have in their store. You need 1/4 cup of butter. You need a pie shell, depending on how many shells you're making, how many pies you're making. That will tell how many shells you need. You need a cup of corn syrup. This is the corn syrup. You can use light or dark. You need, I already put my brown sugar away. You need 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar, light or dark. You need a 1.5 teaspoons of the pure vanilla, and you need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. The cinnamon is only 1/2 teaspoon. I'll put the ingredients in the description below. This is off of, this is not my recipe. I'm following somebody else's recipe, and I will see if I can link it. If not, I'll give the ingredients. Anyway, I don't, like I said, I'm not going to take credit for it because it's not mine. But it is just a standard, from what I understand, pecan recipe. So first of all, you take your pecans. I have 2.5 cups measured out, and you put it in the bottom of your pie crust. That looks like a lot of pecans, but that's what it calls for. It's 2.5 cups. I actually think I'm going to take a few out because that really looks like a lot. And I can always sprinkle some back in when I get the shell filled. Okay. Then you take your mixing bowl, and I'm just using a regular bowl. Let's see, make sure my butter melted. It's getting there. You'll need your whisk, a spatula, and you also need, which I didn't say, is 3 eggs. So I'm going to put my eggs in the bowl. And hopefully not get any shells. That's why I like to do my eggs first, because that way, if there is a shell in there, you can get it out before it gets on anything, gets into everything. Okay, I'm going to just kind of beat my eggs. In the meantime, you want to set your oven at 350 so it can start getting warm. Now I'm going to take my cup of syrup and I'm going to put that in with the eggs. I'll probably wish I had that. At least I'm here in front of the drawer so I can get another one out. Okay, now I'm going to take the brown sugar and I'm going to put that in. That takes a little bit of mixing so that you can get the lumps out of your sugar. I don't have a mixer other than just a little hand mixer, and I didn't want to get it out, so let's see. I bought one of these. This is for mixing, and I think that'll help me mash out what lumps are in here. If you have a mixer, it's probably better to use it. It doesn't say to use a mixer, but if you want to avoid lumps, it might be a good idea. Maybe those will dissolve when I put my butter in. I hope. If not, they'll dissolve when it cooks. Okay, next I'm going to add my vanilla flavoring. It's 1.5 teaspoonful, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I just use pink salt, Himalayan salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And if you like a cinnamon flavor, it's okay to add extra if you don't mind cinnamon. Some people aren't fond of cinnamon, so you might not want to add any more than it calls for. That's it. Now all we gotta do is get the butter. And I want to add this as I'm mixing because I don't want to cook those eggs. And I just use the Great Value butter, the regular. It calls for unsalted, but I normally don't buy unsalted butter. It's just not in my vocabulary. I have bought it by accident, but I don't buy unsalted butter. Okay. Okay. And then you take this mixture and you pour it in your pie shell over your pecans. Yeah, it's not hard. It's one of the easiest recipes I've ever seen. My mom used to make pecan pies all the time, and I just never, it just sounded hard to me, and I never would try it. And my granddaughter wanted to make pecan pie for Thanksgiving, and she found this recipe online, and so was the first time I'd ever been involved in it. So as you see, I put my pecans back in, so it's okay to leave. If it looks like too much, it's probably not. So then I would suggest, just for to be careful picking it up and everything, if using a cookie sheet or something. It also takes care of spills if it bubbles over, which is what I'm fixing to put underneath right now, is a piece of foil, so that if it does happen to boil over, it'll be on here. Now, another thing that I like to do is I like to take foil by the strips, and I like to run it around my pie, the crust here. That way my crust does not get overcooked. I hate when your pie is done and your crust is overcooked. It burns it before it cooks, and that's just not fun at all. The pies that we made the other day, we forgot to take this off, and it cooked. It was perfect. So I want to make sure I cover this good. Okay, now I'm going to pick this up very gently. I probably should have put it on the pan before I put that on, of course, but I didn't, so. And I probably should put it on a bigger pan, but I think this will work. I'm only struggling with this because I'm put it on too small of a pan, you guys. And I should have put it on here before I covered it. Okay. Now this goes in the oven. If you can see, all I did was cover just the outer edge of my pie shell so that this edge doesn't burn before the crust on the inside is done. I'm going to set this in the oven. And I'm going to let it bake for 55 minutes. There. And then I'll come back and show you guys the finished project. So, I'll be back when the pie is ready to take out of the oven. Unfortunately, I won't be cutting it or tasting it until because this one is for my daughter, but I have one I made in the freezer. You can freeze them if you make them ahead of time. I just have to take it out Christmas Eve and let it get thawed. I can put it in the oven and bring it back up to temperature that way, but I'll probably just take it out and let it thaw slow because it's for Christmas, and I'll let you guys know how she likes the pie. But anyway, I will be back when the pie comes out of the oven. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, you guys, I took it out, and this is what it looks like. See how nice the crust is just by covering it. So now I'm just going to let it set here and cool down, and then I'll cover it and put it in the refrigerator. Now, what I did when it come out is I took a knife and I put down in the center of it, and it come out clean. So that tells me my pie is ready to go. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Something new. I'm fixing to make a custard pie. I've never made one of those in my life, so I'll let you guys know how it turned out. If it turns out, I might try doing it again and bring you guys along. So I'm going to get off of here. Don't forget to smile, say a prayer for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.